WPSD Local 6, your breaking news and weather authority. This is Local 6 Today in high definition.
6 o'clock. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for starting your, let's see, Cinco de Mayo off with us. Derby Eve.
Friday.
And it's just Friday in general.
Driver home Friday. We have so much good stuff going on today.
And better than that, the rain's moving out.
There you go. We
Oh,
want
yeah.
to add that as well.
I
It's
do.
the day the rain ends.
Yes.
Dump the umbrella.
That's right. We'll dump it this afternoon. Some of you can already leave that umbrella at home. We do have rain in parts of southeast Illinois, western Kentucky, northwest Tennessee, but much of southeast Missouri and areas away from the Ohio River in southern Illinois, your rain has come to an end. In fact, notice around St. Louis, skies are clearing this morning, so not only will we be dumping the umbrella, we'll be bringing the sunshine back on a gradual basis for today. Now, right now, where it is raining, it's damp, it's brisk, it's chilly. Temperatures are in the 40s currently, so grab a thicker layer as you're headed out the door. We'll go partly cloudy at noon with just a 20% chance for a shower east of the lakes. And we'll go mostly sunny or partly cloudy for the ride home at 3 o'clock. Now, 75 is an average high for this day in May. We're only going to be in the lower 60s in most cases, but it'll be nice to have the sunshine back. Rather breezy throughout the day today, too. We'll be talking more about that and what to expect for the weekend in just a few minutes.
Right now we have continuing coverage. The Republicans plan to replace the Affordable Care Act, passed the House of Representatives. Now it's up to the Senate to vote on it or change it.
Now, the bill didn't get any support from Democrats. It's unclear how much the plan might cost and what kind of coverage Americans can expect.
This victory comes weeks after negotiations, amendments, even personal phone calls from the president. So here's what we do know about the bill. It will impact Medicaid by freezing expansion immediately. Low-income families will see a decrease in subsidies, meaning that they will get higher premiums. Middle-class families will get more subsidies, which may mean their premiums won't be as high. And then the penalty for not having a tax insurance plan would be eliminated.
The bill would also keep coverage for pre-existing conditions, but states have the option of dropping the requirement. That could also increase patients' premiums. Now, Democrats and the president are reacting after the vote.
Trump care was never about strengthening the health care of the American people. It was all about a tax break for the wealthiest people in our country.
We're going to take care of a lot of people, great people from this country with their health care needs.
The health care bill now goes to the Senate, where the debate will start again. Democrats and Republicans are saying this bill will face major changes before they vote on it. While the Senate is waiting to look at health care, they are taking steps to keep the government running. Yesterday, they voted to approve a $1.1 trillion spending bill. It's on President Trump's desk this morning. The House passed the spending plan on Wednesday.
Here's what's happening now. A road you used to get to Grand Tower is now completely underwater. This is Town Creek Road near Sand Ridge, Illinois. It's just one of the roads that the floodwaters from the Big Muddy River have closed down. The National Weather Service reports the Big Muddy crested north of the road in Murfreesboro last night, just 2 feet above the record flood stage. The Army Corps of Engineers closely watching the Ohio and Mississippi rivers. Since the flood of 2011, they've installed relief wells like this one near Cairo, Illinois. A geotech engineer says it provides an exit to relieve groundwater pressure that's coming from the river without letting the sand come with it. These wells are about 100 feet deep, and there are many scattered near levees to keep them from failing.
Here's what's new this morning. Mexican drug lord Joaquin El Chapo Guzman needs to stay in solitary confinement at a New York City lockup. El Chapo is scheduled for a pretrial hearing today. Now, a U.S. district judge made the decision on solitary confinement late last night. He says that it keeps him from trying to control his drug trafficking empire from behind bars or to plan an escape. Guzman was brought to the U.S. in January to face murder and kidnapping charges. Family members in San Bernardino in the terror attack, well, the victims are suing Facebook and Google and Twitter. This is video from the scene after the shooting back in December of 2015. They are accusing the companies of providing platforms for terror groups to spread their propaganda, recruit followers, and raise money for attacks like this one. Now, you remember that a husband and wife shot and killed 14 people and wounded 22 others during a holiday party that day.
The man charged with killing his sister is back in Caldwell County, Kentucky this morning. Kentucky State Police took this picture of Arthur Long after extraditing him from Tennessee, where he was arrested back in December. Long is charged with murdering his sister, Nancy Minor. She was found dead in her home during a welfare check. The number of violent crimes committed against law enforcement officers in Tennessee is down. That's according to a 2016 Tennessee Bureau of Investigation report recently released. The most common violent crime reported against officers was simple assault. That's a physical attack by one person when a weapon isn't used. Here's what's happening next. The Pentagon plans to send a proposal to the White House next week, laying out a plan to end the U.S. presence in Afghanistan. The proposal includes sending more troops there. Troops have been there for nearly 16 years. Right now, they are focusing on training and advising Afghan troops to defeat terror groups, including Al-Qaeda and ISIS.
Hillary Clinton could soon launch a political organization aimed at funding resistance groups standing up to President Trump. CNN is reporting Clinton's working with former aides and donors to build an organization that would invest in the groups, and the group's launch date could come as soon as next week.
Now, weather on the 6s.
Well, it looks like many of us may fare a little bit better than earlier forecasted, particularly in Illinois and Missouri, where we had that flash flood watch. It was originally set to expire at 7 o'clock this morning, but with rain moving out of Illinois and Missouri right now, that has been canceled early. Let's give you a look at some estimated rainfall totals over the last 48 hours. And you can see Illinois and Missouri, that was a spot that picked up, a couple of spots that picked up the most noteworthy rain here over the last 2 days. But it was a little less than forecasted in most cases, generally in that 1 to 2 inch range on the high side. However, there was some late evening and overnight rain here in parts of southeast Missouri from Scott into Stoddard and northern Dunklin County that was quite heavy, and radar estimating 2 to 3 inches, where you see the light shade of blue, with a couple of pockets going in excess of 3 inches of rain. The good news is that rain has moved out of the area. The flash flood warning for Scott and Stoddard counties expiring about an hour ago. But we did have some flooding concerns in Scott City. A few roads were closed in that general area. Hopefully they're back open for that morning commute. Also around Dexter, we had a report of a bridge being washed out near the town of Dexter, just along Highway 236, that is west of State Highway BB, due to the heavy rainfall. Again, that was a little earlier during the overnight hours. So if your morning commute takes you through that area, you may want to think about an alternate route. Here's a 6-hour loop of ultimate Doppler. And again, if you were with us the last couple of mornings, we said this rain from the upper level low would just sit and spin across our area, and that's what's been going on. But you can see much of southern Illinois into southeast Missouri, the rain has come to an end. Kentucky and Tennessee, it's going to be a few more hours, but it will be leaving you later this morning as well. Numbers are in the 40s right now. There's a pretty stiff northwesterly wind at 10 to 20, so it's really just kind of a raw morning out there. It doesn't feel a whole lot like May, but some improvements showing up for the afternoon. We'll have gradual clearing behind our rain. Breezy to windy conditions, the lake wind advisory in effect for much of the area today. 15 to 25 on those sustained winds with some higher gusts. But as the sunshine makes an appearance this afternoon, we get out of the 40s and make our way into the upper 50s at noon, lower 60s at 3. Still below average, but feeling a little better. And the weekend will also show quite a bit of an improvement. Breezy conditions and warmer tomorrow, maybe a sprinkle, but nothing measurable tomorrow. 72 your Saturday high, and a nice looking day on Sunday. Sunshine and near 70 again for the back half of your weekend.
5 students now face vandalism charges after claiming responsibility for all this damage at the Dresden High School football field in Tennessee. Investigators say the group drove a golf cart on the field last Friday and eventually ran that golf cart into a creek, destroying it. The school originally decided to handle the incident in-house and not press charges, but the 5 could not agree on the amount of responsibility each should carry or who should pay for the damage. Hunter Walters, Donovan Sawyer, and Devin Mansfield are all charged in Weakley County. The 2 others we will not name because they are under the age of 18.
You will now be able to choose if your Tennessee license plates has the phrase "In God We Trust" on them. The House gave final approval to the bill yesterday. The original version of the bill would have required "In God We Trust" to appear on all plates. The state's Attorney General office said that move would likely have been unconstitutional. The bill now goes to Governor Bill Haslam's desk.
Carbondale Brewfest returns tonight. It's being held in the Town Square Pavilion from 6 to 9. General admission is $30 and includes a souvenir tasting glass. It's $50 for a VIP ticket. That will get you a premium tasting glass and early entry into the festival.
You can help thank a veteran for his service or her service this weekend. Events for tomorrow will start with a parade at 9 a.m. at Wycliffe Park. It's going to end at the Kentucky Veteran and Patriot Museum on Phillips Drive. There will then be free food and entertainment at the museum for all attending veterans, and this event goes on until 4 tomorrow afternoon. Coming up on Local 6 today, we're getting you ready for your Kentucky Derby party.
Plus, if you're not looking at your TV screen, please look now. Help these kittens find their forever home. They're precious.
You might not be able to see them because they're so snuggled in.
And you can hear them.
The electronics competition industry is growing fast. The unfair advantage some competitors are using to win the top prize.
You're watching Local 6 today.
How come I didn't get a kitten? Stay with us. We're back in less than 3 minutes at 6:10.
It is Forever Home Friday, and you can help these kittens find a new family. We have one really cuddly one and one really active
one. Oh, they're adorable. If you're interested in adopting them, you can call the McCracken County Humane Society.
I love kittens.
He's gone.
They're so sweet. This one has a little bit of pink on him, but
we think that's lipstick.
Their number is not the cats, the Humane Society, 270-443-5923.
And their names are so cute. Juju and
Jimmy.
Juju and Jimmy. They should really go to a home together.
Yes.
They love each other. When they're together, they just purr and cuddle. They need a forever home.
I really want to take a third after looking at these two.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So again, that number for you, 443-5923.
Look, they're scrolling.
Oh my
They know how to work an iPad.
You guys are so talented.
Looking ahead, it's called the greatest 2 minutes in all of sports, a Kentucky Derby. The ponies don't run until tomorrow evening between 5:30 and 6. But for fans, the Derby begins long before the horses are at the gate. The Derby's not just a race or a day. It's the end of a 2-week festival. And the horses are only part of the show. Excitement builds. It's something that jockeys say even the horses can sense during training. Tradition topped off by a hat. And at the Derby, bigger is always better with these hats. Look at that one. We're going to have more on how you can prepare for your Derby party in just a few minutes.
New at 6, it's a sport that's on the brink of becoming a billion-dollar industry. Electronic sports. The Stars play in a stadium full of fans with millions tuning into competitive video gaming. Top players fight for social media fame and sometimes 7-digit cash prizes. But some people are cheating using software that hacks the game code, giving players an advantage. Now the industry is fighting back, guns blazing.
We've got a full team in place that does everything from what we call anti-cheat development on the technology side.
The Electronic Sports League monitors players online and even hires spies to uncover the latest hacks. In a recent Nielsen survey, 16% admitted to cheating, and more than a third say they stopped playing a game because of cheating.
More news for you video game lovers. Donkey Kong, Pokemon Red and Green, Street Fighter II, and Halo Combat Evolved are now part of the World Video Game Hall of Fame. They are all on permanent display at the Strong Museum in Rochester, New York, where the Hall of Fame was established in 2015. Inductees are chosen based on their longevity and impact on the video game industry and pop culture.
Now, weather on the 6s.
Exactly 6:16, rain and cloud cover gradually on its way out of the area. Most of southeast Missouri and southern Illinois, you have already seen the rain come to an end. In fact, skies are clearing in the St. Louis vicinity, and we think that sunshine will gradually head our way through the course of your Friday. So, looking up, still a little cooler than average. In fact, it's just downright chilly this morning with still some rain in the air and cool northwesterly winds. You'll need to grab an extra layer. Wet roads, breezy conditions, maybe a little difficult driving in some cases early this morning. We go from 48 and a 50% chance of rain at 8 down to just a 20% chance of rain at noon. All that would be confined to areas east of the land between the lakes for Kentucky and Tennessee. With a return of sunshine, we'll be approaching 60 at noon and probably scratching out a high in many cases in the lower 60s today. Again, east of the LBL, that'll be the last area to clear out of the clouds, so you may be running a little cooler with your afternoon high temperatures. And those winds will continue to be a factor in our weather even this afternoon. We do have a lake wind advisory in effect. Runs through 8 o'clock this morning until 7 o'clock this evening. Model has a pretty decent handle on where rain will be falling as we hit the top of the hour. Again, southeast Illinois, and then still a good chunk of Kentucky and Tennessee as we see this band wrap around our upper level low, which is across middle Tennessee. We'll move forward into the 9 o'clock hour. Spots along and east of the lakes region still getting wet, and by noon today, maybe Hopkinsville, Madisonville, Dover, still a shower. Meanwhile, look to the west, clearing building in from that direction. And it looks like we'll all have a dry ride home from work later this afternoon as we get our weekend started. Again, it will be breezy, adding an extra chill to the air. Taking you through your Saturday forecast, we've been mentioning this a couple of days. We'll have a little system diving south through our region. See a little bit of green there tomorrow afternoon across Kentucky, maybe a bit of Tennessee. That's just some sprinkle activity. Certainly nothing to cancel your plans over. And we're expecting quiet conditions as we move through the second half of the weekend. Plenty of sunshine. Here's your 3-day planning forecast. A high of 62 with morning rain, gradual clearing and breezy today. 72 and breezy again tomorrow with that chance for a sprinkle or two. 71 and sunshine on Sunday, and the nice weather will extend right on into early next week. And boy, do we need it. In fact, a couple of days where we could touch 80. That would be Tuesday and Wednesday of next week.
We want to help you prepare for your Kentucky Derby party, so Joe Cusker with 1857 is here to show us 2 Derby drinks. 1857, if you haven't been, what a beautiful place. It is a, how do you describe it?
It's a boutique hotel. We have 10 rooms.
There we go. Not your average bed and breakfast. Okay, or event center. All right, we're going to start with the classic mint julep, right?
I'm going to use some fresh mint.
Right out of the garden.
Open that up a bit. Simple syrup.
Simple syrup, basically like water and sugar. And
Sugar and water. You can use any bourbon you like. I picked the Knob Creek for today.
Okay.
So about 2 ounces of your bourbon. All right, Mike, help me out here.
Oh, sure, no problem. I've opened one or two of these in the past. Here we go.
All right, so about 2 ounces.
Smell the mint. Now you can smell the bourbon.
Usually you pack that full of ice and top it with a club soda.
Okay. Anyone have any ice? No one brought ice? There's like 30 people in the studio. Nobody brought ice. And club soda, right?
Club soda.
Okay. And for those who don't like club soda, is there a reasonable substitution?
You could use 7-Up if you'd like.
Okay, there's an
Any
idea.
kind of Sprite, lemon lime soda.
Well, it smells great. And how long have mint juleps been around?
Oh, I would say since the first Derby.
Oh, there you go. I think it was kind of invented for the Kentucky Derby, yeah. And are there other popular drinks for the Derby, or is this pretty much the dominant one?
This is the basic drink. This is the one that they've been doing for the longest, I believe.
All right, Joe Cusker.
Cusker.
Go to the K. Joe Cusker, thank you so much. The 143rd Annual Run for the Roses is happening tomorrow, and you can catch it all right here beginning at 1:30 in the afternoon. The race happening between 5:30 and 6. You're watching Local 6 today. We've got a lot more to come, including a look at your forecast with Weather Authority John Champion. He'll tell us whether it'll be a dry Derby tomorrow. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
7 o'clock this evening. Some afternoon sunshine should get us up into the lower 60s for a high today.
Coming up in our next half hour, what's being done to protect your privacy online?
Plus, what's being done to protect local communities from flooding.
Then healthcare reform, the plan Republicans have to get enough votes to pass the bill in the Senate.
And we're also learning that you can find the perfect
Ooh la la.
dress for any event you'll be attending this summer. Wedding, derby party, graduation, bar mitzvah. This is a live look at the runway in the Local 6 studio. We're going to check in with our models and fashion experts just ahead.
Look at those gorgeous ladies.
I know. Your time this morning, 6:27. Our top story this morning, the Republicans plan to replace the Affordable Care Act. Now moves to the Senate. Senate Republicans do have a significant challenge ahead of them in getting it passed. Now, they may use special rules that require the bill to only get 51 votes instead of 60, but with only 52 Republicans in the Senate, they can afford very few losses there. Now, the bill passed by the House, it would provide refundable tax credits based mainly on age. Now, it reduces federal support by putting a maximum amount on funding. It would repeal subsidies for lower-income Americans, eliminate individual and employer mandates, and Medicaid expansion money starting in 2020, eliminate taxes on the wealthy, and ensures and weakens guaranteed protections for people with pre-existing conditions.
Here's what's new this morning. This woman is accused of driving through yards and tearing up property. McCracken County deputies were called to McNeil Aislip Road just before 11 o'clock last night. Deputies found Melanie Wilkins at the scene there. They say she admitted to drinking alcohol. The car she was in was reported stolen out of Marshall County. A stolen gun was also found inside the car. She now faces several charges. Here's what's happening now. Floodgates are up in Hickman, Kentucky as a precaution. City Manager James Gray says he's keeping a close eye on river levels. He tells us the river would have to rise at least 12 feet to top the city's flood wall. The floodgates have been closed since the weekend. Without the gates up on the flood wall, Gray says he would have a bigger problem on his hands.
It's you couldn't replace it. I mean, right now you can't see on the other side of the wall, but the water is currently at the foot of the wall. If it wasn't there, we'd probably be ankle deep at the moment.
The city is also periodically running a floodwater station to pump water out of the overflowing streams.
As the Big Muddy and Mississippi rivers continue to rise, the community of Grand Tower, Illinois, they can pretty much only watch and wait, hoping they'll be spared serious flooding. Grand Tower Levee District Commissioner Red Mezzo tells us the levees are keeping the water back. Now, patrols are underway on the Big Muddy and Mississippi levees. 5 two-man crews will patrol spots on the levees 24/7 until the waters go down. They're looking for any levee breaches, slides, or water coming over the top. Recent rains have left puddles in the parking lot, too, of Brooks Stadium in Paducah. Crews hope to have the field ready and in shape tomorrow for the tomorrow night game between the Southern Illinois Miners and a couple of teams they're facing in an exhibition. Crews will make a final decision, though, on how weather will impact this game sometime this morning.
Compliance to the Real ID Act in Missouri has hit a snag. Lawmakers in Missouri say they are concerned with the federal requirements to meet the standards of the Federal ID Act. Well, they include keeping a database of original documents required to get a license, like birth certificates. If the state is not in compliance by January 22nd, you won't be able to use your license to board flights or enter military bases. And you can find out what type of information online companies are collecting about you. Illinois senators passed the bill. You'd be able to find out which third-party companies are getting your personal details within 30 days of your request. Now, critics say that the plan would overburden businesses while doing little to protect you.
Here's what's happening next. President Trump's first foreign trip will include stops in Israel, the Vatican, and Saudi Arabia before visits to NATO and a summit in Italy. His trip will start later this month. The announcement follows Trump's meeting Wednesday with Palestine's leader and Trump's vows to mediate peace between Israel and Palestine. Work will continue to reach a budget agreement in Tennessee today. The House will review the $37 billion spending plan this morning. Several amendments were added to the budget bill during the floor session that put it at odds with what the Senate passed. So far, the Senate appears unwilling to accept any changes.
The woman who police say killed her husband and then tried to kill 4 other people will be back in court later this month. Martha Ligon made a brief appearance in a Carlisle County courtroom yesterday. Prosecutors quickly asked for a delay in the case. Ligon will be back in court on the 18th as lawyers prepare for trial, which is set for May 26th. The State Department wants to review social media, email addresses, and phone numbers from some foreigners applying for U.S. visas. It's part of the Trump administration's enhanced screening of potential immigrants and visitors. Some of the information people would have to provide includes 5 years of social media handles and 15 years of travel and work history.
We will find out the next superintendent from McCracken County Schools earlier than expected. District spokesperson Jamie Jones tells us that the school board will announce a new superintendent this afternoon at 4. The new superintendent succeeds retiring Superintendent Quinn Sutton. A Local 6 crew will be at that meeting. We'll share that announcement as it gets made. This man here faces more charges after investigators say that he tried to hide in a creek. McCracken County Sheriff's deputies say they found Alan Beasley hiding under a bush in a creek. Now, deputies jumped into that creek, swam across to arrest him. Beasley was wanted in connection to several outstanding felony and misdemeanor warrants. Deputies found him after getting a report that he was at a home on Linden Road.
The number of hate crimes in Tennessee is going down. A new report from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says the number of hate crimes went down 32% from 2015 to 2016. A hate crime is motivated by racial, sexual, or other prejudice, typically one involving violence.
Now, weather on the 6s.
Just turning 6:36 on our Friday morning, and weather will be improving today. Now, with that being said, there's still rain falling in a portion of the area, but maybe not doing as bad with this late week rainfall that we had earlier forecasted. Again, the shades of blue here as we take a look at estimated 48-hour rainfall totals from the radar. That darker shade of blue, that's about 1 to 2 inches of rain. We thought many of you in Illinois and Missouri could end up with 2 to 3 inches of rain here late this week. We did have some spots, though, dealing with that. Most of this coming last evening into the early parts of the overnight from Scott County down into Stoddard County and northern Dunklin County. That lighter shade of blue, if you check the scale here, that's 2 to 3 inches, and even a couple of pockets of purple representing more than 3 inches of rain. And because of that, we did have some flooding concerns in parts of Scott and Stoddard County earlier in the overnight, but you can see that rain has moved on out. Several roads around Scott City, in fact, closed earlier in the overnight. Hopefully those are reopening now that everybody's headed off to work this morning. And even down into Dexter, we had some flooding concerns. A bridge was washed away along Highway 236. So if your travels take you along that road here in Dexter and Stoddard County, be aware that there could be some problems for you as you're headed off to work this morning. All right, let's give you the bigger view and show you how things are playing out this morning on Ultimate Doppler. This is a 6-hour radar loop, and you can see much of southern Illinois away from the Ohio River drying out this morning. Much of southeast Missouri, you're also looking at dry weather. In fact, the clearing line is trying to move in from the northwest early this morning, but Kentucky and Tennessee, it's still wet, and that means you may need to leave yourself some extra time as you're headed off to work and school this morning. That rain across Kentucky and the volunteer state of Tennessee will gradually wind down over the next several hours. It is cool, it is brisk. Go along with those damp conditions, just 45 in Marion, Kentucky right now. Paducah at 47, and winds are coming in from the northwest at about 10 to 20, and that brisk wind will continue throughout the day. In fact, we do have a lake wind advisory for much of the area starting at 8 o'clock. Once the sunshine returns, that should help to boost numbers into the upper 50s by noon and lower 60s at 3 as the lifestyle index moves back into the green later today. For your Saturday, maybe a sprinkle, otherwise partly cloudy, breezy, and 72, sunshine and near 70 on Sunday.
Still ahead on Local 6 today, a better way to screen for concussions.
The new test being used to see how long patients will suffer from symptoms.
And teens and depression, words and symptoms parents should be watching out for.
And then picking the perfect dress, we'll have fashion tips from our expert and some of the trends that you'll notice in stores.
The time right now, 6:38. You are watching Local 6 today.
Your breaking news and weather authority with Mike Mallory, Michaela Bruner, Stephanie Martinez, and weather authority John Champion. You're watching Local 6 today in high definition. WPSD Local 6.
Thanks for joining us. Weddings, graduations, holiday gatherings, all these events are happening during the spring season, and that's right now. So we have Carson Love here.
Yes, our fashionista here. She's with us all morning. She's been helping us decide how to find the dress that really fits our body type.
Right.
And speaking of, we have 2 more to go.
Right, yeah, so we've been kind of working through each body type, trying to help everyone identify which category they fall into. So next step, we have what we call the ruler or athletic. And that's that real kind of straight up and down, you know, not a big defined waistline, a lot of times a lot more slender. So good thing for ruler and athletic type is really anything goes. Because you don't carry a lot of extra volume on the top or on the bottom, you can really have fun with a lot of different silhouettes. So you could do like a shift or a sheath style. I would say a recommendation from me would be to try to create the illusion of curves by doing like a fit or flare or belting or some ruffles up top, something like that.
Now, Carson, I do apologize, but we're going to go ahead and take a live look at our carpet that we have our models and what we have.
Look at them go, yeah. So this is Wendy. She's wearing a dress from Ribbon Chicks, and this is a really great example of dressing for your body type. I love how she defined her waistline, and it's more of an on-pier waistline, which is really flattering for her. That scoop kind of neckline, just,
so
you know, it's not totally off the shoulder, so a little more modest, but still really flattering. I think a lot of women that are have a larger bust feel like what's flattering for them is to cover up, but really what that does is create more surface area and kind of draws the eye in. So it's a lot more flattering to do like a V-neck or a scoop neck or something like that.
With that cute little
The bag, of course.
Oh, here's Kayla.
Yes, and this is a dress from Simply Be. Love the print. Again, a nice defined waistline and just a nice little A-line skirt, you know, not adding too much volume. She has a little bit smaller, you know, up top, so she can do that more fun kind of flowy sleeve. But another great option. I love all these dresses too. They're so versatile for so many different events.
I really like, I do like the second one. The second one is really cute too.
Yeah, Simply Be.
And we have a third one here this morning.
Megan, again, with that defined waistline looking so cute. Of course, you know, off the shoulder is not going anywhere. It's just sort of fun and flirty for spring. Again, not too much volume on the bottom, but just flowing away from her hips there. Really beautiful.
Three
Look how cute they are.
Fabulous women.
Oh my gosh, they need to go get mimosa or something after this. He's making fun of us.
Fashion and kittens. All right, we have one more body type.
We
real
do.
quick.
Let's focus in here. Okay, so pear. And so this is actually the body type I identify with. Shout out to the pears there. So it's whenever you are more narrow up top and then will carry more weight on your bottom. So like just think the shape of a pear is. So with this, you know, you always just want to try to think about balance. So, you know, we can have more fun on top with ruffles and embellishments. Like I'm wearing horizontal stripes because I'm very small up here. So let's just broaden that out. And then, you know, defining a waistline and then something that skims away from the hips. Also darker bottoms and things like that can help balance out proportions is what we're always looking for.
Carson, thank you so much.
Yes, a lot of help this morning. We're taking your questions about your spring fashion and showing you some of the latest trends. And now we're going Facebook Live. We're hosting that Facebook Live session, and we started that at, well, we will be starting that at 7:30. So join us there, search WPSD TV, and post your questions if you'd like.
All right, thank you very much, ladies. Here's what's making health headlines this morning. A simple spit test could help predict your child's concussion symptoms and whether or not they'll go away quickly or linger for weeks. This test measures genetic material in saliva called microRNAs. Brain cells release the molecule after a head injury. Researchers at Penn State University found this method was 90% accurate when compared to traditional concussion tests. 10% of teens suffer from depression, but very few use the word depressed to describe how they're feeling. A new study from the University of Illinois Chicago finds depressed teens are more likely to say that they're stressed or down. Symptoms you need to be on the lookout for include increased anger and irritability, loss of interest in activities that they enjoy, and problems sleeping. Doctors may have found a faster way to help babies born addicted to opioids. Researchers used a drug called buprenorphine to treat withdrawal symptoms. It cut their treatment down to 15 days. That's compared to the traditional treatment of morphine treatment that lasts about 28 days after birth.
Now, weather on the 6s.
Well, 3 cheers for the sunshine. It is already showing up this morning. Generally west of I-57, sky is getting a bit brighter this morning. North and west of a Cape Girardeau to Poplar Bluff line. Also, we are waking up to sunshine, but it's still a soggy morning in other spots as that upper level low continues to throw moisture back in our direction. So along the Ohio River here, southeastern Illinois through much of western Kentucky, northwest Tennessee, clearing the rain out is going to be a gradual process for you. Here's our Saladino and Shaft Sky Tracker picture. This is our view from Paducah, where rain is still falling this morning, and it is a little brisk as well. So with that in mind, maybe factor in a few extra minutes for your ride into work. That wind could push you around a little bit, and of course that rain could cause for some slick streets. Temperature here at the Weather Center, it's 46 right now. Our wind from the northwest at 10, but it is going to be a breezy or even windy day, 15 to 25 on our winds, and there will be some higher gusts as well. We'll roll out your Independence Bank bus stop forecast for a Friday. We'll linger the rain in Kentucky and Tennessee for the ride into school, but everybody should get in on that sunshine for the ride home later today. We'll go mostly sunny to partly cloudy and temperatures in the lower 60s. That's still about 10 to almost 15 degrees below average, but it's just great to have the sunshine back. So we're saying dump the umbrella, but you might still need a jacket as that wind will make it feel rather cool. Here's your 7-day planner now, where the weekend is always in view. For a couple of days, we've been talking about a sprinkle chance for Saturday and it's still there, but no measurable rainfall in the forecast. Still a little breezy tomorrow, but a much warmer weekend. Highs will be near 70 on Saturday and the same for Sunday. In fact, Sunday offers a lot of sunshine and lighter winds, so some good news there. We'll keep the dry weather going through at least Tuesday or maybe even the first half of Wednesday of next week as high temperatures get closer to 80 as we get deeper into next week.
Next on Local 6 today, a new tool that keeps your eyes on the road.
How the signal shield prevents distracted driving.
Plus, consumer alert, why you need to stop combining the two parts of this travel system for your baby. We're back now with some consumer alerts for you this morning. Expect to pay more for avocados. High demand and lack of supply has the average price at $1.43. Some farmers in California say their crops are smaller this year because of salt and mineral buildup in the soil from years of drought conditions. It's estimated 81 million avocados will be used today to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. This stroller and car seat combo is under recall because your baby could fall out of it. 1,000 Combine Shuttle model strollers and car seats used to travel systems sold in silver and red are part of this recall. The car seat can break away from the stroller's frame, creating a fall risk for your child. So just contact Combi for a free repair before you combine the products, and they are still safe to use separately.
A new tool to help prevent distracted driving. Nissan previewed its Signal Shield. It can be used in the armrest of the Nissan Juke. Once a smartphone is placed in the compartment and the lid is closed, it blocks all of the phone's incoming and outgoing cellular, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi connections, so you stay focused on driving. We'll get a better idea about how the job market is doing today. The Bureau of Labor Statistics will release job numbers for the month of April this morning. Economists say the report will show about 185,000 jobs were added last month.
You can get your caffeine fix from these bagels over my shoulder. It's the Espresso Buzz Bagel from the popular chain Einstein Brothers. The bagel has 32 milligrams of caffeine plus 13 grams of protein. The Espresso Buzz is part of Einstein Brothers' new Boosted Bagels lineup. Paducah's Downtown Farmers Market is hosting its grand opening this weekend. The farmers market will be open tomorrow from 7:30 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon. More than 70 vendors have signed up for this year's farmers market. Paducah Farmers Market is located at 306 North 2nd Street. It's going to be open every Saturday until the end of October.
Still more to come this morning after the break, including another check of that forecast with Weather Authority John Champion.
Plus, we'll run down what you need to know before you go.
The time right now, 7 minutes before 7 o'clock on Local 6 today.
Big deal though, temperatures returning to about 70 for an afternoon high both Saturday and Sunday. In fact, we'll be closing in on 80 by Tuesday of next week.
Good morning. Coming up on a Friday here on Today, President Trump uses his New York homecoming as a victory lap for that House-approved bill to repeal Obamacare. But it's already facing major hurdles from Republicans in the Senate. We'll have complete coverage from Washington. Also ahead, Ambassador Caroline Kennedy and her son Jack join us for an exclusive live interview. What's next for her? Could politics be in his future? We'll talk to them about that and more. And then our revealing conversation with Ellen DeGeneres. She'll open up about her past, her future, and one person she doesn't want on her show. All that and much more ahead as we get set to see you on a Friday morning, right here on Today.
Before you go, we'll find out the next superintendent for McCracken County Schools earlier than expected. The district spokesperson, Jamie Jones, tells us that the school board will announce a new superintendent this afternoon at 4 o'clock. The new superintendent succeeds retiring Superintendent Quinn Sutton. A Local 6 crew will be there, and we'll share that announcement as it gets made.
Work will continue to reach a budget agreement in Tennessee today. The House will review the 37 Sorry, there's kittens up here distracting me. The House will review the $37 billion spending plan this morning. Several amendments were added to the budget bill during the floor session that puts it at odds with what the Senate passed. So far, the Senate appears unwilling to accept any changes.
And we're taking your fashion questions this morning about spring fashion and showing you some of the latest trends. Now, Carson and Michaela, along with myself, will be hosting a Facebook Live session starting at 7:30 this morning, so be sure to join us. Search WPSD TV to post your questions.
And you can help these little kittens, they're very active, find a new family.
Yes, they are active, but they're adorable, and you're interested in adopting them, just call the McCracken County Humane Society.
The number there is 270-443-5923. Their names, I believe, are Jim and Juju.
And $85, and it comes with...
and well worth it.
All the goods.
Have a good day.
Today starts now.
Good morning. Victory lap?
Obamacare is no longer living.
President Trump hails his win in the House on health care.